through imagery and pictures and, just engage you a little bit in the Mensch experience. So if you're all okay, I'm going to share my screen and take you through a presentation. Okay. Right, can you all see that? Okay, brilliant. So as you all know, our community in Cape Town is so wonderful in that we provide service and connections for people from the cradle right up to, all the experiences that life brings us. And we support and we connect. But I joined Mensch in 2016 or 2017, I think. But there seemed to be a gap in supporting those people in our community that work in the NGO space, that work for wider South Africa. So it's the people that are running special projects, that are thought leaders, that run NGOs, NPOs, social projects, volunteering. And we just felt that we needed to bring these people together, to network them, to help amplify the work that they do, to advocate for them, to provide trainings that are cost effective, public trainings where they get to skill up in leadership skills and other skills, which is very costly for NGOs to attend privately. So we wanted to really get this group together, but also to help them to understand that the Jewish community is supporting them and that they're not alone, and that it's part of our value system as Jewish people to help, assist, provide, be part of something more than ourselves. And so the vision of Mensch came about, which was Jewish South Africans co-creating positive change for all in South Africa. I just want to make this smaller. With the mission, with the way of doing this, to inspire, empower, and develop our community as impactful agents of social change. And so this network of people was created, and we called them the Mensch Network. One sec, I just need to be able to, oh, there we go. We called them the Mensch Network. And I just want to first show you a short video that was done a few years ago to introduce the network and the work that they do, these individuals do. And then I'll take you through the work that we do with the community. So it's going to be a video. So if your sound is low, put it up. And here we go.
Mensch is a Jewish social change organization, and we bring together people that are working towards systemic social change in our country. Mensch Network members are our community's answer to people wanting and creating change, actively doing work that is transforming the country and uplifting people's lives.
Schools are effectively run by parents and teachers, and parents and teachers don't necessarily have the skills or the confidence to govern a school. The kinds of skills, the kinds of networks that are required are very different to being a parent or a teacher. So where we come in is we try and plug that gap and provide some of those skills and build that confidence so they can hold people to account and drive their school forward to success.
I run professional development using a specific tool called Lumina Learning, and together with coaching, organize workshops of professional development in the educational sphere of previously disadvantaged communities.
So Atlantic Hope is a place of safety, a registered non-profit organization, and we care for abandoned and vulnerable babies from across the Western Cape.
Clowns Without Borders. We use laughter and play to provide emotional relief to families affected by crisis all around sub-Saharan Africa.
Rabbi Hillel in Pirkei Avot, Ethics of the Fathers, said, "If I am not for myself, who will be for me? And if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when?" And he speaks about this as, who are we as Jews? Who are we as people if we don't consider the context in which we live? This is a vital part of who we are as people, as Jews, and as a community, to be aware of the needs of those around us.
The sense of community, or the sense of collectivism, the sense of commitment to change that is fundamental to being Jewish.
At the end of the day, all of us are trying to improve other people's lives in the country, and if we can work together, You know, it takes a village.
Working together to make a difference means that there is an opportunity for us all to engage in change making. From a small initiative to a massive NGO, there is something for everyone to do and to create the change that we're looking to make in this country.
Okay, so today we have a network of over 100 people, and I've just included some of the names here and the faces to show you the diverse areas that they work in. We have people such as Kaylee Leviton working with the street store, working with the homeless. We have people working in enterprise development with refugees, SA Harbour's food security, African Tales with dogs and animals in the townships that need to be sterilized to manage that. Cadena, which is a development agency, it's international, and they're doing work in Cape Town and Johannesburg. Marks for Medics, it's medical. Smile Foundation, where they with cleft, they do operations for cleft lips, I think it's called, and Indoni that work with dance and movement and give youth the opportunity to forward their careers in that creative space. So it's a wide array of individuals, and we call them the Mensch Network, and they're listed on our website. Some don't always love to be listed because they feel a bit, that their work isn't, or it's voluntary, or they're not doing enough. But really, it's to lead by example. It's to share the work that we do to encourage people to do more. But what we found was, once the Mensch Network was established, that how do we get community more involved? How do we get our community behind the Mensch Network members? How do we connect the two? And when I talk about community, I'm talking about our schools, our shuls, our Jewish organizations, and our volunteers. And it's great, this is an example of getting the community involved by talking about the work that we do and advocating for our network members. So that's something that I'm doing here today. So again, the connection with community, how do we bridge the two, the Jewish community and the Mensch Network, so that we can propel our community as a whole towards transformation across South Africa? And we are a national network, but mainly our focus at the moment is in Cape Town, and that's just due to the fact that it's run by Gina and myself, and we obviously going more national takes more resources. Okay, so to share some pictures, and some of you may have been on these days, but Mandela Day was a fantastic opportunity to bring the community together. I know that every Mandela Day, I'm sort of used to be late and what can I do? And then sort of end up doing something that's, sort of I could get a space on. We looked around and there wasn't something that the Jewish community was doing that was bringing everyone together to do good. So what a great opportunity to use the Hatfield Street campus, what we know as the Elbow Centre upstairs, the Old Sukkah, the courtyard, Cafe Ritava, to bring people together and to do something for our network members, beneficiaries. So in 2018, yeah, I'm thinking we're correct. 2018, we kicked this, 18, 19, yes. 2018, we kicked this off. We made sandwiches, cupcakes, and lasagna for some of our beneficiaries, Orania, the Homestead, which is for street children, for children without homes, and Super Troopers. We brought loads of people together. We made the lasagna for the street, for the Homestead, because the kids don't always want to eat bread, and we wanted to give them something different. So we spend a lot of time trying to curate what we're doing so it's meaningful. What was happening upstairs, we had Weetzer that were knitting for their beneficiaries. Alongside them, we had, and this is covering the 2 years, I've mixed the pictures, but we had kids making care teddies for Jedi Teddies, another network member organization. And those teddies go to the Red Cross, to children at the Red Cross. And as you can see, it was very intergenerational, which sort of came about quite nicely, having everyone side by side doing what they want to do for the beneficiaries, for Jewish network members and their beneficiaries, being those across wider South Africa. Next door, while that was happening, we had yoga classes And so the idea was you bought a ticket for the yoga class, you got something for what you paid, and then the proceeds went to Earth Child Project, which provide yoga and environmental education to certain schools in the townships. Another one of our network members runs a dance. He brings, all those buskers, all those people that on the street and the waterfront singing and doing their thing. He has brought them together as a community. So we had an African dance class. Again, people bought tickets for that, and the proceeds went to those beneficiaries. So it was the idea of getting people involved in an engaging way, giving something, but also gaining something with money or what was made being given to the beneficiary organizations. So that was Mandela Day. And I think over the 2 years, we probably had 700 people coming in, doing stuff. Cafe Ritava was wonderful and on board. And, it was just a really great day of being together. Then what happened is we thought, well, how do we get people to engage more, not in one space, but to go out and make connections with our network member organizations or other NGOs that they're interested in. And there's this fabulous global event called Mitzvah Day. It's run out of the UK, and it's got 40 countries globally all doing good on this one day, which is usually around the sort of end of November. So we got in touch with them, and we became their South African sort of partners, and we established Mitzvah Day. And the idea is that you have volunteers and beneficiaries, and they create a program or an event at that beneficiaries organization. So it's decentralized. So some of the things that we did, and we would curate it and make the connects and encourage people to be volunteers and beneficiaries and help them to build this program. I think over the 2 years, we've done 63 different connects. And the idea is that these days then propel a deeper relationship. So for example, this is Shannon Pam. She's a network member. She's a coach. And she also runs a singing circle. So her singing circle went to Scalabrini Center for Refugee Women, and we did a singing circle, a morning of singing and connections and cultural learnings with them. And then during COVID, we did this online, and we've deepened the relationship with ourselves and with Scalabrini, who now also receive coaching through another one of our network members. So about connections and engagement. This was Rabbi Sahar of the temple in Israel, and the temple on the Saturday night, they made sandwiches. And then on the Sunday, they went to Hillbrow to hand out the sandwiches. And as you can see, it's not just about opening your car door or handing out, it's about engagement with people, finding out what's going on, building connections. We did a fabulous 2 years we did this. We connected the Nuluntu Food Kitchen, which is a UJW initiative, with Herzliya Constantia. I was quite involved with this one because I'm a parent at Constantia. We provided a sports day and a lunch, and there was football, there was team games, there was karate, netball, and this amazing lunch that UJW did, and we got about 100 kids and the Herzliya kids, and they had a day together, playing, talking, doing things. I'm just going to admit Bernard. Okay. And I'm going to show you a video. Another group, actually, my sister, they decided they were going to go and donate blood. And as she loves making videos, she pulled a video together, which I'd like to share with you, which I thought was quite fun. Okay.
Do you participate in any of the following: skydiving, deep sea diving, or mountaineering?
Listen to this one. Do you have any tribal scarring?
Have you been a sex worker? And then he says, have you received money for sex?
It's the Mensch thing to do. So naff. Let's do another one.
Okay, so you can see that this is such a variety of things that people can do that's meaningful for them. And from this blood donation, a couple of the people that went on this continue to donate blood. And you know, once you cross that barrier and you realize how easy it is, you continue to do things. So that's the purpose of Mitzvah Day, and we felt that it's really been a great success, and it's also invited and engaged Mensch to learn and to know so much more about the network members and their organizations that we work with. Another project or another thing that we do are volunteering days. And this was a wonderful day with one of our corporate sponsors. And they decided they wanted to go and do a team build at a food garden in Philippines. So off we went for the day. They contributed seeds and piping. And we spent the day planting and sowing seeds and getting the land ready and putting the piping in. And then from the harvest that they already had, we had a fantastic lunch. So that was a corporate event, a team build around volunteering and learning about how these food gardens in Philippines, etc., work, and the off-takers that bring that food into our restaurants because it's all organic. That was loads of fun. We also work with the Jewish youth, so the youth organization. So this was with Netzer, and before their Netzer camp at the end of one year, we introduced them to some programming ideas that they could run with their elder groups. And this program is all about interactively introducing our youth or their Chanis to different ways that you can do good, whether it's through volunteering, philanthropy, actually running a social business where you can earn income, you can make a profit, though it's not the main outcome, obviously, but that doing good work can be a very good career choice and can be a well-paid career choice as well. And sort of what's becoming more popular, as well as trends. And we introduced them to some of the projects that have globally that are so exciting that have taken place across the world. Talks and events. There's nothing like bringing together people for inspirational talks and events. So here we got 3 different individuals, Charles Maisels, Helen Lieberman, who's on our board, and I've totally forgotten her name now. Anyway, and I think it's Galette, totally forgotten that. And they all worked in different areas. Helen, as you know, with the Camp Labantu, she's got years and years of experience, and it was all about talking through their journeys, you know, the challenges, the importance of tenacity, the rewards. Dalit, she worked at Clicks and with Relate, where she was more on the corporate side, but the work that they did in terms of promoting and giving to their CSI initiatives. And then Charles just does loads of work and creates loads of startups and has been doing this for years. So his experience in that space. Bar and bat mitzvah programs. Everyone's always looking for something to do in their bar and bat mitzvah. We encourage not just giving money, but again, engaging. So we created these bar and bat mitzvah days with the Garden Shul. And these are some of the kids that have come together to together work on a project with Super Troopers and to have, it was one of their social days. And we found it really great to get the bar mitzvah group together as a group to do some good. And we also had some sessions with them back at the shul with Rabbi Sarah and Rabbi Feldman, doing a little bit more education and underpinning of what they were going to be doing. So that was loads of fun as well and nice for the kids. And we help curate opportunities for volunteering. Of course, we have to go to Herzliya. You can never, we're always trying to do stuff with Herzliya School. And this was many years ago, actually before I was part of Mensch. And as part of the Gimilut Chasadim program, we got involved in that. And basically, Gimilut Chasadim is a program that they do where the kids need to do some volunteering and service work at various Jewish organizations. And in this year, we were invited to come in as a Jewish organization where kids had an opportunity to work in Jewish-led NGOs for wider South Africa. So they had a bigger option to choose from if that was their interest. And a lot of people went from working a dog to doing stuff with African Tales, which is a Jewish-led NGO working with animal welfare. I think there was work with Super Troopers, with the street store. So it just opened up their eyes to other work that people can do that still sits within the Jewish value system. I don't know if any of you have read any of our thought leader columns, but we give our network members the opportunity to share their point of view and the work that they do with our community via a column in the Jewish Chronicle. It's also online. Our last one, which Brian Oppert wrote about Pesach, I thought was fantastic. And all these articles actually are sitting on our website. And they center over here, we've got Shani K, who does corporate videos about the work that corporates do in their CSI initiatives, in their service initiatives. Romy Kaplan and the Counseling Hub speaking about mental health, the cost of caring as well, what it costs us when we care for people and how we also need to look after ourselves. Mask for Medics, their experience. Howard Rickman, who is part of our Project Vibe program, all sharing their stories. We've got about 10, I think, to date, and they come out monthly. So you also get that through our newsletter. Really nice, informative, light pieces, just sharing a bit about the work and encouraging opportunities for people to do more. Okay, and then as we all know, I'm watching the time, as we all know, COVID hit. And it was interesting. We were able to support our network members very quickly, but inefficiently in the beginning. And I think we were all in that space in March, was it last year in March, where we, we were all scrambling to see what we could do. No one knew what COVID was going to look like. No one knew how long we're going to be locked down. I mean, it was quite a scary time. So we connected with all our network members to say, hey, what do you need? What are you doing? And we kept on putting out newsletters, mostly highlighting what they needed and asking for donations or volunteering. And it really took up quite a lot of time and it was quite inefficient. We did manage to raise quite a bit of money, but it was just, we weren't being clever in the way we were working. But what we found was the three main things that were coming out was food, healthcare, and shelter needs. And these were the three themes that were coming out all the time. So what we developed with Mensch and encouraging the other Jewish organizations to be involved with the South African response to COVID-19 and beyond. So it's a one-stop shop where you are able to donate directly to our food, health, and shelter member NGOs that are doing work in the field. And we've learned that, having a passive page where one donates doesn't work. We need to bring it to light. We need to amplify it. So as Mandela Day was starting, we thought what better way to do this was to start off by highlighting the need for food relief. At that point, it was food relief. Now we're moving into food relief, food sustainability. Even though people are literally still starving out there, we need to now, as a country, find more sustainable approaches to food sustainability. We can't keep on putting out fires. We've got to, do it from both ends. So we thought, okay, well, it's Mandela Day. This is a global day that people know about. There are so many expats living all over the world. Why don't we do an international global Mandela Day where we charge tickets and we give our participants something in return for them buying the ticket. So what we did was this International Mandela online cook-along fundraiser. And we had about 200 people internationally on this Zoom. It was run by Robin Colley, who runs a Food for Good program in the UK. And we cooked food that was South African food inspired by the flavors that Madiba loved. And it was a fabulous success. We ran it for the beneficiaries, the UJW, for their feeding programs, Super Troopers, H18, which feed women in refugee women in the Milnerton area, and another beneficiary that I simply have totally forgotten. Oh, and EnviroChild, who work with food kitchens and food gardens in Hamburg and in the Hout Bay community. We got about 250 people internationally that had signed up or bought tickets or were on the event. Everyone had to go and buy the ingredients, and we cooked this meal together. And from that, we raised about 160,000 Rand. So we were quite proud, which we then gave to our beneficiary organizations. And it was fun, and it connected us. And we really bought in. At that point, we thought, where is our biggest expat community? So we engaged with people in Australia and got the shuls there and the community organizations there to advertise it. So we reached a greater expat community. Then, of course, further on in the year, we had Mitzvah Day as well. And if you recall, Mitzvah Day is about going out and engaging with the different network organizations. But of course, we couldn't do that. But it was at a times when the beaches had just opened. There'd been this terrible nurdle spill across sort of South Africa. It was started, I think, in Plet. And nurdles are this byproduct of the petroleum industry. They're these little balls. You can see them in between that woman's fingers. And there was a ship and a container ship, and something had happened, and all the nurdles had spilled everywhere. And these nurdles get into the guts of fish and what have you, and they really do enormous damage, and they're very difficult to collect. So off we went to collect nurdles. It wasn't easy. We had about 30 people there spread out on the beach. And we probably connected, I don't know, maybe a kilo or so of nurdles, but it took 4 hours. But it was really also to educate around what the nurdle spill means. Nurdles are often mistaken for food by turtles, fish, and birds. They can't be digested. They block the digestive system of these animals who starve to death. And of course, it's also becomes part of our food chain. So that's what we did for Mitzvah Day during COVID. Other things that we did was, again, we wanted to now do a fundraiser and bring to light the work in the health field of our social change makers. So again, we held a mind, body, and soul event. This time it was to raise money for Masks for Medics, which I'm sure you've all heard of. They provide PPE to disadvantaged communities and care workers, and also to the Counseling Hub, another one of our network member organizations, and they provide mental health support in terms of very discounted coaching programs to people that need it. I think their core program when they started was 6 sessions, 50 Rand a session, and they're doing fantastic work, and they needed more money for data so they could start doing this work online. So we thought, again, let's sell tickets, let's give to get. We held a fantastic international mind, body, and soul event. This time we connected with the US, because we got to obviously think of our time zones, and with Israel. We had Jodi Harris, who's an ex-South African in LA, started off with yoga and movement. We then had Ethan Zahn from New York come. He was the winner of Survivor South Africa. He's also had 2 cases of cancer and how he got through that. So a bit about his inspirational journey. And then we had Emotion Aid, which is a fantastic health organization from Israel. And they work a lot with Army veterans, with people in the army, with people that experience trauma, and they showed some of the techniques that they use. And we did a demonstration of that. So, and then the proceeds for that, I think we raised around 50,000 Rand, went to Masks for Medics and the Counseling Hub. And all the payments are done through this online system, this portal that we developed, where you can actually buy tickets and pay for things through the South African Jewish Response Campaign. And that all sits on our website. through this, we were also able to, through our crowdfunding portal, we are also able to respond to the needs of shelter. So as you recall, there have been a lot of fires. Well, there were a lot of fires, and they're still happening, especially over the summer months in our township areas. So we were able to quickly mobilize and put our crowdfunding sites together for people that wanted to donate. And this is the Small Shul. They put a crowdfunding page together on our platform, and that was to support fires and to rebuild homes in where there was devastation. And this is a skill set that we have because it links in with our Project Buy It work, which I'll talk to you about later. So again, the opportunity to set up crowdfunding. We have the Cape Town, the Sinai Academy is doing a crowdfunding campaign for one of their workers who's been with them for many years, but whose house, she lost her home. So we're helping with a crowdfunding campaign to raise money for a new home for her. And also, more than that, we provide ideas on events and help them to think through a campaign and how to market it. Another one of the areas that we're very fortunate to be involved with was to work more in depth with Andy Bolnick, who is one of our network members, who runs an organization called Ikayalami. And the purpose of Ikayalami is very innovative. There are so many people that are living in shacks that don't have access to water, sanitation, safety, dignity. And they aren't going to be given houses. They just aren't houses. The waiting list is too long. So instead of people waiting out that time or living their lives in shacks that are really substandard, Andy and Ikayalami have come up with a fantastic model that allows for water-resistant, weather-resistant, fire-resistant shack dwellings that are safer because they're put together in a better way. And they provide more dignity to the people that live there. And they've been doing this as part of Ikayalami for many years. And we then had the opportunity to create a Project Buy It with them, where we encourage members of our community to find out where the people that work for them live. And if they do live in a shack dwelling, can we improve that? Can we help improve that? And what we do is we provide finance, interest-free finance upfront, and then that's repaid to us over a year or 2 year period, which is, let's say it's 300 Rand or 500 Rand a month from the house owner, and maybe 500 Rand a month from the employee. And the house can be built within, or the shack can be built within 3 days. And then the money is paid back interest-free to Mensch. And they range from about 18,000 Rand to 30,000 Rand, depending on what one wants to do. If you want to have it linked to plumbing, if you want to have it put in somebody's backyard. And it's really a fantastic process where Andy and her team engage and find out the needs of the house owner to be, and the needs of the employee, what they're looking for, and to build this home together. And I'm going to show you a video just to put that a bit in context. It focuses a bit more on the houses that we built in response to fire, but it really highlights the devastation. So, okay, let's go with that. Okay, so just some stats around that. 1 in 5 people live in shacks. Millions in South Africa, as we all know, do not have a secure home. There are 10 shack fires per day nationally. There are 3 times higher rates of HIV infection due to unhygienic living conditions. Sorry, not unhygienic living conditions, sorry, due to lack of safety. There are 10 times higher diarrhea-related and infant mortality, and that's obviously to do with water and living conditions. And, you know, there's something that we can do about this, and we're trying to encourage that. There was a fire recently, and we found out, and it was a bit too late, that one of the workers from the Samson Center, his house had actually, his shack had actually burned. And before we could reach them with the project by its solution, he had actually gone out and bought new materials to rebuild his home. And then we subsequently found out that most of the employees that live in townships at work, you know, in that center, actually do live in shacks. And, you know, these are people that have worked with us for many, many years, and we don't know where they live, and we don't ask those hard questions. And as a community, you know, these are people that we could get behind and build them homes. So it's either one person building with the employee for somebody else, or in this case, it could be a community coming together, you know, raising funds to upgrade 9 shack dwellings. So these are some of the exciting things that we can do that are possible and innovative, and looking really at what is going on in South Africa and where we can help, because, you know, we can't build homes for everyone. We don't have that kind of money, and a lot of people would never receive a home. And this gives so much to them. These houses also, it's really interesting, the material, because it actually can act as a fire barrier as well. So when we build, after a fire, we try build the houses in a row. So should there be another one, it stops the fire from spreading among other dwellings in township areas. And that's it. You know, we'd love people to be more involved. How can you be more involved? Well, I can send you, you've got the link to our website. You can sign up for our newsletter, read about what our network members are doing through the thought leader columns, through spotlights that we do for them and the work that they do, through fundraising campaigns and events that we run. When we have our next Mandela Day event, which will probably be something online, to join it, buy tickets, send it to your family overseas, you know, get us together engaging. I spoke about our thought leaders column. You can send us an email, find out more about Project Buy It, or of course we're happy to do a Project Buy It specific talk for seniors. We have a monthly giving campaign, which is fabulous. If anyone wants to give 100, 200, 300 Rand, 1,000 Rand a month on a recurring basis, you can do that via our webpage. We're often raising money for our network beneficiaries, and we often forget to raise money for ourselves to keep the ship going. So that would be really welcome. You can volunteer if you're retired and you have an area of expertise, if you're a coach, or if you're a finance person, or I don't know, a dentist or anything, and you want to volunteer services, or a doctor, we can find spaces for that. Obviously, it's, we see how it works with COVID. And what I just remembered now, we actually got a survey happening at the moment. So what would be great is if you could fill out our survey. And Diana, I sent it to you on your phone so that you could share it on the chat. Are you able to do that? Otherwise, I can do that quickly. I'm going to just stop the share. I just want to put that onto the, I'll put it on in a bit. Or if you could share that on an email afterwards, that would be fabulous. We've got a few days.
I'll send it out on email.
Beautiful. We've got a few days to get that survey done. We've already got over 100 people that have participated in it, but it's probably the people that know more about Mensch. So it'd be good to hear. It will only take 10 minutes, and it'll be really helpful for us to gauge how we can better do what we do by meeting the needs of our community, organizations, our members, and our network members. So in a nutshell of 47 or 45 minutes, I've just tried to give you a small experience of what we do, how we try to be as creative as possible, and how we're very much trying to create engagement and a knowledge of what it means to be South African, what it means to be a Jewish person in South Africa, that we can be involved in our Judaism and our Jewish welfare organizations and find space and time to be involved in the wider issues and stay relevant and be responsive and see the great work that's being done, because we often just hear the not great things. And these are realities, and we live here and we love it here. So that's our work.
Jodi, thank you very, very much. It's a hugely informative talk. And as much as I do know a bit about Mensch, it is really very, very encouraging to see all the amazing stuff you're doing. And Mensch, of course, is not unfamiliar to us, because Gina Flash and Helen Lieberman have both been recipients of Elliot Osron awards for their contribution to the community. So it's very well known through Jewish Care Cape, of which Cape Jewish Seniors is part of. So we really do appreciate that. And the other one I must mention is Barlow Neveson. The Sill family were the original patrons at the very beginning of the formation of the CJSA. And in fact, Barlow continues the philanthropic tradition by being one of our patrons still to this day.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
It really is nice that we have these connections. And
thank you, Philip. I mean, you've always been so supportive and have brought us in, and that's been wonderful for Mensch and most appreciated.
And very, very important that the whole thing of Tikkun Olam is something that we all need to buy into. All of us has a responsibility to make a better world, not just for ourselves, but for the community in which we live, Jewish and broader communities. So thank you very much for what you do, and congratulations all around.
Thank you.
So anybody want to ask Jodi any questions or comment on this morning, making us so proud to be Jewish and part of this community? Anyone want to say anything? Unmute yourselves and please do.
I think you've left us.
I think everybody's eaten too much matzah.
No, that's fine. So we have our website, all the information's on there. If you want to find out more about Project Byte, or we're happy to do a talk on that. And yeah, just stay engaged. And if you want to, what's great with our organization is if you want to give a gift to somebody for a birthday and want to donate to something charitable that's maybe not necessarily a Jewish organization, then you can donate via our website and we can pass it on. So you can have a look to see what Jewish-led NGOs are doing. Or you can call us. I've got a birthday party. I don't want gifts. I want to ask people if they want to give a gift to donate. And we can find a NGO that works that does something that's of interest to you. So we're always open to finding ways that work for people to pass on. Recently, we did a fundraiser with Green Pop, and it was to buy trees and to plant trees in South Africa. And so many people said, oh, it was so wonderful. We donated our tree in the name of somebody, and they found that really useful. So we provide opportunities and help come up with suggestions for meaningful things if you want. So all you have to do is just send a mail, phone. It's very informal, and we can work on something.
Well, thank you.
Jodi, one thing I must ask you to do is congratulate your sister on her video. This is the first time, as a Jewish boy who can't stand the sight of blood, that I actually watched the donkey. So congratulations.
Yeah, and she pulled that together. I didn't even ask her. She said she pulled it together in like an hour after she did it. So she's quite good at what she does.
It's very brilliantly edited and it tells the message very powerfully with a wonderful sensitivity. So congrats. You obviously have talented family.
Well, that was an example, interesting, of volunteering. So Lisa you know, she makes videos, she's in that world, and she took her 2 hours and she pulled that together, and it's been wonderful. So that's the kind of volunteering of time, of professional expertise that really helps us get out there and reach people in different ways. So I'll definitely tell her.
Thank you.
I love it too. Okay, thanks so much. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for being with us. And
Pleasure.
just before we end off, everybody, this afternoon is our usual movie afternoon. And because this is Holocaust Week and Remembrance Week, we are going to have a fitting tribute to the Holocaust. So please join us at 2:00. And then for those of you who do Yiddish, I'm pleased to say that Yiddish is back up and running tomorrow at 10 a.m. So whether you are a newbie and in a beginner's class or more advanced, just join us and have an hour of fun with Yiddish and our fantastic teachers from 10 to 11. And Amanda's just put something in the chat. Let's just see what she's saying. Oh, she's put the Zoom code for this afternoon. So if you'd like to take part this afternoon, please join us. Otherwise, anybody got anything to say before we end the meeting? Okay. See you either tomorrow, or I will be sending out later on today next week the events so that you can diarize and make sure that you join us next week. Thank you, everybody. Someone want to say something?
Thank you.
Ed?
A very big thank you to Jodi. Thank you very much for all your time you spent and the valuable information we got from you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And I'm so glad to be on it, because I can now tell my father about the Yiddish and about the movie. And I think you're doing fantastic work. It's really amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diana.
Thank you.
Pleasure, Ed. Yeah.
Diana, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is the Temple Israel not sending out a link anymore?
Yes, they are. I'll send it to you when I get it, with pleasure.
Send it to me for this weekend, please.
Yes, with pleasure. Okay.
Thanks.
See you later or tomorrow.
Thanks. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thanks very much.
2 o'clock today. What's 2 o'clock?
There's movies.
That was
very informative, and we're very proud of young women who do that.
It's marvelous.
Very proud.
Yeah.
Is she there to tell her?
No, she isn't, but when I write to her, I will say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Suddenly struck me who she is.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
That was actually very good. Excellent.
Yeah,
Let me just stop the recording.
Very good presentation.